What's going on, guys? Sorry for taking so long for the next video, but it's summertime, so I gotta work every day. But I have a big episode for you guys. I have a special surprise. I have my Milwaukee M12 bandsaw, which I've had for about, I'm guessing, 3-4 years, and I've really loved it. It's a great bandsaw. The only downside is an M12 saw. So the battery, if I have the 6 amp battery on it, it will last me about 6 hours if I'm heavily using it all day long, cutting pipe, cutting strut. So what the thing is, sometimes when I'm using it all day long and we don't have power, it gets kind of cumbersome, because then I have to use another battery, and I only have one 6 amp battery. So if I use the 1.5 battery, it won't even last me for an hour if I'm really using it a lot. So here I got my dewalt atomic bandsaw. Now, one thing I could tell you is this is great, because this is a 20-volt bandsaw. I think they have a 12-volt bandsaw also, but I went for the 20-volt, and this is what I really needed. Now, the only problem that I have with this is not really a problem, but it's a lot heavier from my M12 bandsaw. Now, it's to be expected. You know, this is a 20-volt tool, but if you look at it side by side, they're actually very similar in size. You know, on this one, you take off these clips right here, or you loosen up these clips, and the blade pops out, and then you got this right here to loosen up the blade. On this one here, I like this over here. This is pretty nice, because sometimes these little clips actually open by themselves, but here this ones are very sturdy. And here you go. So the thing is, what I think they did was literally just copy this and made it to a smaller version. So they didn't reinvent the wheel. They already had something that was working, so what they did was just cut it to a smaller size. Now with the Milwaukee one, I think they re-engineered everything. They didn't just get their big old bandsaw and made it smaller. I think they just made it from the ground up, my opinion, which is not bad. Like I said, it's not bad, because this one actually has a volume speed button, just like this one has the volume speed button there. And actually that's a pretty good idea, because sometimes you need it slower, sometimes you need it higher, and I really like it. I like this rafter hook they got back here, very sturdy, very sturdy. On this one right here, I don't know if you've seen on other episodes, I'll get a lanyard and I'll tie it there, because they can't fall from a high altitude. So if you look at it, this one, this is a very similar to this one. Now this has a little safety switch, so you have to push this safety switch to turn on, which is fine. I mean, safety first. This one here, you just shift it back and forth, and it's good to go. It's a little cumbersome with the safety switch, but you know, I understand why it's there, and it works. It's not like it's in your way. But this also, this one right here is also like similar to the Milwaukee one, so it's not really much to complain about. So which one do I like best? Well, what I was gonna do, since this one's actually pretty expensive, I think this is like $230, $240 at Home Depot. I don't know, I got it cheaper. I got it off of eBay. I was already gonna abuse it, so might as well get a used one, you know, because I'm gonna abuse it anyways. Look at my Milwaukee one. What I was gonna do is actually sell my other Milwaukee one and just keep this one. But now I have a second opinion, because this, it's a lot, not too much heavier, but it's a little bit more heavier. So whenever you're doing overhead work, this might be a little cumbersome, because this is super light. This one right here is super light. It's no problem at all. So this is going to be my ground bandsaw, and this is gonna be my in the air bandsaw. And this is only whenever I really need it. This one has good power though. This one has good power. So when I'm on the ground and I really need some power, I'll use this one. And whenever I'm just cutting pieces of pipe and stuff like that, I'll use the Milwaukee one. Now, if you look on the Home Depot website and you look this up, this bandsaw, the dewalt bandsaw, this one right here will actually suggest you buy the Milwaukee blades for the compact bandsaw. This is a dewalt blade. I'm pretty sure it's a dewalt blade because they said it came with the blade that originally came with. And, they fit. I guess they fit because I haven't changed out the blade. But it's on the dewalt on the Milwaukee dewalt website. It says you can get the Milwaukee subcompact. So that's a good thing because sometimes they have special blades for their particular tools and it's harder to find. You can't just go to Home Depot and buy it. So that is a good thing. So they actually thought about that. So these are more goodies that I have actually purchased over the last couple months. Since I didn't post up a video for the last 4 months, I think it was about 3-4 months. I'm going to show you some more tools that I actually bought this summer. First, we have my dewalt fan, 2nd generation. Now, the 1st generation actually comes with an AC adapter right there in the back. This one does not have it. This is the 2nd generation. It's only battery powered. Now, the reason why I went with the 2nd generation, not the 1st generation, was because of 2 things. Usually, when there's no power or no AC in the job site, it's because there's no power. So the AC adapter becomes obsolete. Secondly, the reason why I went with my dewalt fan and not a Milwaukee fan or a Makita fan was because I have a flex volt battery for dewalt. So it's a 6 amp hour battery, so this one to run it all day long. With the 6 amp hour battery, it lasts me for a day and a half. I could have got me a Makita one, I could have got me a Milwaukee one. The thing with the Makita one is that I only have 5 amp hour batteries, so it might have lasted a little while, but whatever. Now the Milwaukee one, the reason why I didn't go with a Milwaukee one also is because this is more of a secondary tool. This is not a primary tool. This is more of a luxury tool. I mean, yeah, you need the fan, but you know, you gotta choose between a drill or something instead of powering up your fan. So I do have DeWalt tools, but most of my DeWalt tools are not. How can I say? They're not primary. Is that I don't use them as much as my Milwaukee ones because I have more Milwaukee tools than my DeWalt tools. And usually my DeWalt tools, it's more of a specialty tool to get something done. So that's the reason why I got a DeWalt fan and not a Makita fan or a Milwaukee fan. Next we have my DeWalt heat gun. Now the thing is, same reason why I didn't buy the Milwaukee heat gun was because I have my batteries for Milwaukee for my drills, for my whole bunch of my sawzalls, my circular saws, everything. And most of all my tools are all Milwaukee, and I do have a couple of DeWalt tools. So these heat guns actually waste a lot of power from the battery. So if I use my heat gun, then I won't have any power for my other tools. So again, this is more of not a secondary tool, but you're gonna have to kill one battery to use the heat gun while you still need it for a drill or something. So this is why I went with the DeWalt tool, the DeWalt heat gun. Now, I'm not gonna tell you it's not worth the money. I think it's worth what? I think $80, $90, $100, something like that. It's good. It's a good heat gun because it's on the go, it's cordless and stuff like that. I have a Milwaukee heat gun, which works just fine. The only thing was making a funny noise. That's why I bought this heat gun. But this heat gun does not replace your regular 120 heat gun. This one takes a long time to heat up the PVC pipe or anything. What this heat gun is actually good for is for heat shrink. This gun is real good, especially for mechanical work, working on your car or something like that. You want to shrink wrap your wires. This is very good because you're not gonna want to keep the heat gun close to you, and then it might get hot and actually burn you like my Milwaukee one. The Milwaukee one, I actually still have it. the thing is, I bought me one of those Milwaukee battery adapters that converts the 18-volt batteries to 120, but it has a little GFCI thing going on, so every time I try to use the heat gun with the little adapter, it just turns it off, so it can't handle the output. So what I tell you to buy this heat gun, if you really need it for small things, it's perfect. But if you think it's going to take away, you're not going to have to get the 120 volt heat gun. No, this heat gun takes forever to heat up, but it's good whenever you have no power and you have to use a heat gun. Then it's perfect for you. I wouldn't suggest, even if you had a adapter in your truck for a plug, I wouldn't suggest you run the heat gun. The heat gun takes so much power and so much energy that it can mess up your car. Not soon, but eventually it can fry something up. So I would recommend having a cordless heat gun and a regular heat gun, just to pick which battery you want. Now the same thing with the soldering gun. Now I actually have a soldering gun from Harbor Freight, $6-7. What I suggest you to go cordless, you can go cordless, but the same thing with the heat gun. This will go through your battery like nothing. Like in 20 minutes, it will run out of battery. And the reason why you're using a cordless a soldering iron is because you have no power. Now, if that's the case, this is perfect, because if you need to solder a couple things and you don't have to bring an extension cord or stuff like that, then it's perfect. But if you have to do soldering all day long and that's your job and you're gonna have it on all day long, you better have about at least 4 or 5 batteries, 6 amps. I think the 6 amps will last you 2-3 hours, but it will go through your batteries like nothing, especially if you're going to use it all day long. So I would suggest to buy a couple batteries. If your trade is nothing but soldering, I will buy a couple, 3-4 batteries, and it's an M12 battery, so they don't last too long. Would I tell you to buy it? Oh yes, definitely. Because sometimes I'm not. I mean, like I said, I have my Harbor Freight soldering iron, and it's cost me $6. So if I'm going to use it every day, all day long, I'm gonna use that. But if I have to do a little touches here and there, connect some wires, and only gonna take me 5 minutes to do it, oh, best believe I'm gonna take this one out. So this is actually pretty good. It's a tool only. I think they come in a kit, but I don't need a kit because I have the charger and I have the battery. So it comes with a little single tip and it comes with a little flat tip.